4 months ago I reviewed the Matrix Audio SI1 network isolator and bought it immediately, for it outperformed all other isolators I have reviewed. That made me think I should review one of their new streamers. So I did. Matrix Audio has a range of products in which combinations of the following functions are mixed: streamer, amplifier, headphone amplifier, preamplifier and DAC. The TS1 is a streamer with integrated DAC and a headphone amplifier. Since it has an input selector, volume control, digital inputs and one analog input, the TS1 can be used as a preamplifier. The analog input is digitized. The TS1 has to be connected to your router/modem over a network cable or Wi-Fi. In this way it can connect to the internet for streaming services, internet radio and updates. If you have music stored on your computer or NAS, that can be played too. The analog outputs of the TS1 are connected to the line inputs of your amplifier. You can use any input except phono input. Depending on your amplifier, use 2 XLR or RCA cables. Normally a pair of loudspeakers are connected to the amplifier. If you have a CD player, you can connect it digitally to the TS1. Alternatively, you can connect a CD or DVD USB drive to one of the USB-A ports to play or rip CDs. To store music locally, you can use a USB drive or insert an M.2 SSD into the housing via the small flap in the bottom. You can even play TV sound through the stereo system using an HDMI ARC connection. To select sources, you can use the touchscreen on the front, the included TS1 remote control, or a tablet or smartphone with the Matrix Audio app. Instead of an amplifier with speakers, you can connect active speakers with built-in amplifiers, provided they have analog inputs. Alternatively, you can use headphones with a balanced cable connected to the 4.4mm headphone jack, or with unbalanced cables connected to the 6.3mm jack. The TS1 has a thick aluminium housing with an acrylic front in which the touchscreen is integrated. It measures 280 by 210 by 82mm and weighs 2.89 kilos. The front has touch-sensitive buttons also outside the display area. That starts with the power touch button. To the right, the status info on time, network connections, local storage, NAS and hardware functions. Then the cover art of the music playing, with next to it the track information. Below it the progression bar and the transport buttons. On the right in the display the My Favorites button. Then outside the display the input selector, the output selector and the button that opens the volume and mute screen. Finally, all to the right, the 4.4mm balanced headphone jack and the 6.3mm unbalanced headphone jack. We see the IC mains inlet on the right, with next to it the ground terminal and a 12V DC input for using an optional external power supply. Then we see a trigger input and a trigger output, a RJ45 Ethernet connection, 2 USB-A connectors, a USB-B connector to use the TS1 as a sound card for your computer, the HDMI ARC input to play TV sound over the TS1, the Toslink optical input and the SPDIF coax input. Then we get the analog I/O, starting with the unbalanced stereo analog inputs. Then the balanced analog line outputs, the unbalanced analog line outputs and the mono subwoofer output that is filtered at 150 Hz minus 3 dB. Finally, we see the Wi-Fi antenna. Every now and then I come across a device that resists opening, but luckily the Dutch distributor Reference Sounds has published a photo of the inside. Here we see 2 large circuit boards. The lower one shows the Meanwell IRM-4 45-12 switch mode power supply. The model number shows that it delivers 12 volt 45 volts. I know it from other products, and although better than the well-known cheap wallboard types, I'm not a fan of it. Having said that, I see only half of the lower circuit board. Perhaps is the output of the power supply very well filtered. A part of the CPU's cooling profile can be seen, but all the digital I/O electronics remain hidden. The upper board holds the DAC and the analog output circuits. The two channels are easily identified, as are the AKM AK4439SEQ DAC chips. There is one chip per channel, each chip having two channels. Those two channels are fed the same signal, for instance the left signal. When then those two outputs are summed up, the result is said to have about 3 dB lower noise, somewhat lower distortion and a bit more detail. Once installed and connected, the TS1 can be operated using the touchscreen on the front. But using the free app on a tablet or smartphone is much handier. Let me show you the app on an iPad Pro 2. Library gives access to the locally stored music, including a local music server, NAS or computer. In this case it's a sonic transporter holding over 141 tracks from almost 9,400 albums. When you connect the TS1 to the computer, NAS or music server, it builds its own index, which will take some time for a library as big as mine. But when that's done, browsing and searching is very fast. Let's see how it works. If you tap on library, you see the albums that you have locally, so on internal storage, USB drive, NAS, computer or music server. As you can see, scrolling is very fast. Let's get to the artists. Again, very fast scrolling through 10,166 artists in the catalog. Let's search for Pink Floyd. As you can see, I'm a Floyd fan. Connecting to a share is rather simple. Tap the resource settings, tap Add Network Drive, tap the share you want to add, in this case the share in the Grim Audio Mewtwo digital player, type your login credentials and Bob's your uncle. If you are subscribed to streaming services like Tidal or Qobuz, you can easily add them to the app, as you can see here. You can see I have already added Tidal and Qobuz. Tap Add and all supported services are shown. Let's show Qobuz. It has the well-known menu structure. The same goes for Tidal, that has its own menu structure. But you can also use the Tidal Connect app on your smart device that doesn't send the audio over the smart device to the streamer, but instruct the Tidal server to send the music directly to your streamer. Just open your Tidal app, play music and select your streamer as speakers. The same goes for Qobuz Connect, Spotify Connect and others when they come to market. If you use Audiovana Studio or J River Media Center, selecting the TS1 as speakers also works. Again, you can use the user interface on the TS1 to change the settings, but I prefer to use the app on the iPad sitting in a lazy chair. Tap Settings and select App along the top to set the language if needed. The choice is somewhat limited. Simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, English, Russian, Japanese, French and Korean. Or you can have it follow the system preferences. If your language is not supported, the app will set to English. The other options in this menu are self-explanatory. If needed, you can pause the video to study them. The TS1 was connected over a Network Acoustics Muon network cable to the Matrix Audio SI1 Ethernet filter. That was connected to the Zixel GS1900-10HP switch over a Cat6 patch cable. Also connected to the Zixel switch was the Zixel T56 modem/router, which was connected to the 1 gigabit Odido glass fiber internet connection via a Nokia media converter. The small green computer sonic transporter i7 CDR was connected to the Zixel switch via a patch cable too, and is running Roon server, Minim server and Odivana core server. Between the TS1 and the Air Acoustics AX520 amplifier, a pair of Grim Audio SQM XLR cables provided the analog connection. The PMC FAC12 signature speakers on Stack Audio over 100 isolators were connected over AudioQuest Robinhood Zero loudspeaker cable. The iPad Pro 2 was used to control the music server software on the Sonic transporter. The PSI Audio AVAA C214 active bass step provides measures against room modes. Since the TS1 can alternatively be powered externally, I also listened to it powered from a Ferrum Hipsus power supply set to 12 volts. Since I'm not a headphone user and have no insight in the headphone market, I will not pass judgment on the sound quality of headphone amplifiers. I always tried the 6 filter settings, called Sound Color by Matrix Audio. I preferred the mellow filter, which is the default setting. I use this during all listening. Mellow associates easily with tame, dull and soft, but that's not the case here. The sound is dynamic, while there is a good resolution over the entire band. The tonal balance is good, only the very deep lows are somewhat accentuated. In many cases that will not be a problem. With speakers that go down to 26 Hz like I have, it is a bit much with some tracks. Having said that, the overall sound quality is slightly better than I expect from a €2,700 streaming DAC. I rated first quarter of my setup 1B. Then I connected the Ferrum Hipsus power supply. That made an impressive difference. It immediately became a DAC of at least one class better. The stereo image became clearly wider and deeper. I thought I should warn my neighbors for the drum kit in his room. Seriously, it all sounded clearly more organic. The sound character was more balanced, more open. Microdynamics were also better. There was more air around the instruments, better focus, better separation between the instruments. The TS1 combined with the Ferrum Hipsus power supply makes the sound quality comparable to a €4,500 streaming DAC, which is halfway my setup 1A. The Ferrum Hipsus power supply will set you back €1,395 and can deliver 6 amps. During normal use, the NT1 consumed around 12 watts, which is 1 amp at 12 volts. So you might try the S-Booster BOTW PMP Eco MK2 12 to 13 volts. It can deliver 3 amps at 12 volts. Unfortunately, I just lent out my 12 volts S-Booster, so I can't say it will deliver the same sound improvement. And there are more manufacturers of high quality power supplies optimized for audio. Anyway, it's clear that there are 2 versions of the TS1. The standard one that delivers excellent sound quality for its price, and the one with a high quality power supply that delivers even higher quality. Next to that, the TS1 is also very easy to operate. The MA control amp has a logical menu structure and is very responsive. I like the HDMI ARC input, so that you don't have to listen to the poor sound quality of the flat screen TV. I also like the quality of the display. And on that bombshell we come to the end of this video. It's summertime, so I will not publish a video every week. But if you subscribe or follow me on Patreon, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram or TikTok, you will be notified when a new video is published. As always, Patreon and YouTube Premium members get early access and no ads. A huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel financially. I appreciate every single euro, pound, dollar or equivalent you donate. You keep me independent and motivated. It's easy to contribute using the QR code on the screen or the links in the description. I'm Hans Beekhuizen, thank you for watching. And whatever you do, enjoy the music.